year and a month, let's call it. Year and 13 months. So yeah, we've been coming together really since May. May 2022. Pushing fast and hard for that 1 year mark. That'll be epically wild that I've been at my computer every Monday evening for a full year at that point. That'll be shocking. Thank you, Jem, for your constant support on the other 6 nights a week. And thank you to everyone who does attend and jumps in on this stuff, because it's, there actually is no plan. And when I say that out loud, I'm actually not kidding. There is no plan. So we are here to see where it goes, what's going on, pin some stuff. I got to do that still because I was getting water, doing my best to zen prior to spaces. And yes, I'm going to start pinning stuff. If people want to jump up, feel free to request. We will get you up. Yo was on different screen. Connecting back.
What's up? How you doing?
What up, Shekinah or Tetsuo?
I know.
I think I said. I hope I said that right. You already know that dragon variant. Sorry, I'm still hype.
Oh my gosh, no, you're too funny. No, I appreciate you just for all the support. Yeah, I've decided the variants, a couple of them are still going, but on the comic itself, I'm just gonna leave it open, and I'm gonna order the books, 500, and then just mail those out to folks, that have already, that have purchased, and just let it, just so I don't have to rush to write the part 2 and have people wait longer for that art to be done.
Yo, did we just hear a part 2 though?
Yeah, there is a part 2.
Alpha.
Yeah.
No, Shekinah, it's dope. I'm excited for it. That's really all I got. It's to support you and what you got going on.
No, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Who else? We got to support one another,
Yeah, I mean it's not a massive space, we are smaller than I think I realized. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out President.eth is streaming spaces to his Looty, which is a loot pod. So if you want to hang out in a cool 3D space, check out them AF1 3D files. We may or may not start talking about those in a bit. But I want to pin Prez's thing to the top, and I'll like it. Yeah. We got Clone Council. We got Cass. What up? We don't got Cass. We got Council.
Didn't realize I was on this account. I just get notifications.
What up, Henry?
All my Clonespiracy is just on. Clonespiracy's come for this account, so I just click it. I gotta delete this account, I think, or donate it. What's good, fam? Just thought I'd tune in, see what's up with the artifact space.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, bro. Just focusing on, I suppose, family time and getting these businesses up rather than chucking money in ecosystems that aren't really stable. But fun to be around, I suppose.
I get that. Yeah, I'm trying to find that balance too, my friend. But yeah, as far as what's going on in the ecosystem, I would say we think Air Force One forging is going to happen soon. I say that because Zap tweeted details coming soon. These look wild, IRL, and to me that says that we'll probably get details soon. Um, I'm pretty sure Benoit wore the Murakami drip AF1s to NFT Paris, which those probably got some nice views in the physical space. I'm sure they repped them loud and proud. Um, and then YC also kind of backs it up, saying, it's going to happen. That's being worked on once we have more details that they will announce. Kind of replying to someone kind of asking when Forge really, which is like one of the favorite things to request actively, because a good when question really hits the nail on the head on the constant ask for the utility. Um, and and those are kind of the things that like I've seen out there. We have the NFT statistics.eth. I don't know how real those stats are, but they're stats that we can reference. I don't know the account. I really haven't seen it. Someone sent that to the chat, and I thought it was interesting because it really just shows um, that volume can be easily, I don't know what the word is, manipulated maybe. Volume is easy to make volume go up, even when you look at the number of wallets that are holding or not trading. It's actually interesting, um, just seeing that it's really only a small percentage of these things that are actually ripping. It's a very large percentage that aren't, and it's kind of like don't you know be I don't even know how to say it. It's like just look at the actual statistics, the number of holders, the people, the ecosystems you're engaging in. I think all of that's more important than anything that starts with the F and ends with um, or maybe it's lore. I don't know, but lore is a whole different topic. But the F lores are really not worth concerning yourself with, in my opinion. So I would just unless you need to, unless that's your whole thing, and if that's your whole thing, we are very different, which I get. But at the same time, um, yeah, I think number of holders is probably the most important stat, and some like real volume, healthy volume, good. But at the end of the day, a lot of people holding something in a decentralized project is better because it's more decentralized, and that's the whole point of being involved in crypto in the first place, is to decentralize the power aspect, I guess, of the control aspect, those things, which is interesting because like we are here talking about a space that is technically owned by a Web2 company, which is a centralized company. But I think that people who like Artifact for the reasons that they do, I'm pretty sure Nike plays into that to some degree. It's like I would bet on the powerhouse of Web2 to help actually make this stuff legal and help it last a long time to get us to 2052 versus another option. So like that to me is actually really great. And yes, it slows this down. There's no doubt about it. But it's like I heard this phrase earlier, and I had to tweet it because I was like, it's sweet. You know, aim slow, uh, shoot fast. So like get everything lined up, be ready to go when you pull that trigger. And if I had to guess, that would be what I think is happening behind the scenes. I think they're aiming slow so that they can shoot fast, um, kind of down the line, which hopefully that kicks off into another era. And yeah, I mean, we have CIRLs. So like we did the mint on those, what, 8 weeks? 10 weeks. It's been over 2 months, right? So like we have another couple months still before we can start doing physical space quests, and that will be very interesting to me, as to see what those digital collectibles will be, that are helping people get out and just do it. like how we get between now and then. I don't know if having our
Yeah, you're rugging a bit. Yeah, you're rugging a bit. I mean, no one's up here else is up here to tell you, so figure I'd tell you.
Yeah, he's still rugging. Hey,
Yeah,
Shakana,
I came up just to tell you that you're rugging, bro.
Pretty sure you got kicks. How long did it take you for you to make your shoes from scratch? Just saying that because of how long it's taking Artifact, just in comparison type of thing.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you made shoes, right?
Oh God. Oh yeah, bro. Took Colton Rain
Cotton
about
Rain.
about 8 months, 8 to 9 months, and yeah, they're from scratch. So like I said, I love Artifact, but these ain't no Air Force One bases. They're original and leather. So the quality is way better. So yeah, that's how long it took, and we did 4 different models that were original, and then 21 colorways.
Was what?
So
21 colorways.
Yes.
Eesh.
We did too much. But we nailed it. Delivery started, the mint was in February 2021, and we started deliveries like late November, or like I guess mid-November of the mint was February 22, and then we started deliveries mid-November.
Yep.
And then we finished deliveries like mid to end of January and of 23. So
Geez, that's pretty good. I mean, 21 colorways.
Yeah.
Hands down crazy.
Yeah. Because we did so many colorways, but yeah, that many colorways. And then we also did like Dre got a piece of these, but we did like an all white, all black, and like a black and white of like a just kind of another shorter collection as well. And that was ready before the 21 colorways were ready. So all that's delivered, man. So we'll just say that.
Yeah,
we know what we're doing. These guys are the guys that I'm working with, Colton Rain, like they're fashion like vets. Like they know what they're doing. They've worked in the like fashion industry. They know streetwear. You know, they know it. They're not just saying we want to do it, but they know how to design, and they have the connections to the factories, not Vietnam factories, but Italian factories. So that's where the difference is. They're specialists in the craft. That's all.
How many on the team?
Oh Lord, it's like 5 of us. It's a small team. Yeah. So I mean, if I was saying that the team, like 5 that are, maybe not 5, I'll say 6 that are consistently active.
Yeah.
So that's the founder, the chief marketing officer, myself. Then we've hired a couple mods, and then one like kind of like junior marketing like individual. And then we have someone that does all the tech. He has his own company, but he runs all our tech, so our stuff doesn't fail when it comes to the back end on tech. And then we have like PR, she's like a PR. She runs a PR agency in Italy, has a whole team, and has connections to different celebrities. So yeah, it's kind of spread out, but it's a very small team. But everyone is a specialist at what they do, so we can get shit done. So yeah.
No, that's fine. That's good to hear.
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for answering. I remember when the main when people were starting to get their shoes, I was reading about Colton Rain, and there wasn't many negatives. Let me tell you that. It was a lot of happy customers. Everyone just talking about the amazing quality, which is what you want. So shout out to you. I'm only asking these things just to compare with Artifact. There's no hate with the Air Force. I'm
Yeah,
just wondering.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean the difference is what I said. Like Artifact, like what is it? Zap comes from customizing. So customizing sneakers that are already built, they're already made. And then, Chris from, like graphics, graphic design, and then, indie filmmaking, music videos, and then Benoit's esports. So where in that did I say that they have specialty within the fashion industry and luxury? They don't. And I would say that to their faces. Like they don't, and that's okay. They don't need to, because you see what they've created. So, but I would hope, like with Nike, like we would get the stuff, sooner. But I don't know. I was reading. I think Nike did their quarterly report last week. Stocks, and I think there's something with them having issues with what is it, supply chain. So that might be some reason for the delay, but I don't know if that's affects Artifact or not. But I saw that last week. So
Supply chain on a macro level got absolutely wrecked. If you're outside that area and you look into it, that's what happened. Think of it like, I guess farm to table, that entire route, only with manufacturing goods and products and chemicals. And hopefully I'm not rugging anymore, because I walked about 20 feet, turned my phone off of low power mode, because I figured it might be doing some kind of performance thing. But yeah, that's actually awesome, Shekinah, that y'all put out 21 colorways in 8 months.
thanks. You sound crystal clear, by the way.
That is so much better to hear than your rugging. I was like, no, that is like the worst feeling. But I think low power mode, and I still haven't called Xfinity to figure out why Wi-Fi doesn't load my spaces, because I still don't want to deal with that. So I know Kuro, I don't know if your hand's actually up or if that's
it's actually up. I have some questions. And I'm
Fire away,
Pardon?
Fire away.
Okay, so I need to know who do I contact about licensing stuff, licensing clones?
Oh my gosh, sorry.
No, you're all good, bro.
I thought that was Kuro.
Yo, I wish I had fucking devious music to play in the background while I said that. Yeah, so I obviously help my friend with his business. They do on-chain solutions for IP licensing and stuff, and I kind of want to reach out to Artifact and see. I just don't want to. I don't want to talk to any founders. I want to talk to people that are actually in the legal department. I just don't know who to approach. So if anyone could help me with that, I would love to try and figure out how I could get them onboarded and make this IP licensing for those of us. Those clones that aren't Murakami drip, mostly.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be Clone Law, Christopher Andon. The guy that's behind Clone Law, because
I thought he was LARPing. I didn't know. So he's actually Clone Law,
Yes,
Oh
yeah, Christopher Andon, the guy
He's
who
real.
yeah. So Artifact doesn't have legal anymore. They don't have in-house legal. They have Nike legal, and so that's why you've seen his name on some of the patents in relation, to sneakers. The newer stuff. His name is on there, and he's been the head of Nike's metaverse patent stuff for, I don't know, at least a couple years, or when they finally launched the Nike virtual studios. But he's been with them for a long time, because you can find him on LinkedIn, and you'll see how long he's been with the company. But yeah, that would be the person that you would contact. And I don't know if I've never messaged Clone Law, so I don't know if he checks it or not. Yeah, and I don't know how often he checks his LinkedIn, so I don't know, but he would be the guy. So you get to figure out how to get in touch with that guy, because I would say that he runs things when it comes to legal, with anything that Artifact does. I'm quite sure of that.
Okay, awesome. Because I was trying to figure out who who their general counsel was and just approach them. So that's perfect. I'm just ringing my lawyer to get my lawyer to talk to their lawyer.
Yeah, they don't have a general counsel. It would be Nike legal counsel.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna let that ring out. I just sent him a text. He hates that. I love that he hates that.
Cool, that's amazing. That you thought Clone Law was LARPing this entire time.
Bro, I don't know what's going on the internet. You know, the only two things I know is that I wake up every day after my 2-hour nap, and I cause havoc on the timeline. Those are the only two things I'm sure of.
And the 17 spaces you would attend at the same time, my good sir.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Clone visibility is the most important thing that we have, because the more people that see clones, the more they inquire, and inquiry is a good way to onboard people. Even I changed. I made what do you call it? Is it called Facebook still, or is it called Meta? I don't know, but I made one of those accounts, and I added everyone I know from the old studio that I used to work at Guru Studio, and I started shilling them clones because if I don't do it, I don't know who is. No, I seriously been shilling them clones. I even my one friend Scott Forbes, he's a DC comic artist. Yeah, I'm trying to get him to take a clone and do a cover for me. So I'm excited to see what he says.
That's awesome, crew. I hope he does it, and I hope that Clone Law gets back to you with your inquiry. We had.
Oh, I'm gonna make this so simple for creators. This on-chain solution is bar none. Obviously, like, I'm biased because it's my friends working on it, and I get a lot of input into it. But when the next couple of weeks, when you guys see the announcements coming out about Sassy Labs, don't be surprised because we put in work.
I'm excited about Sassy Labs, and my term for sassy is actually saucy, because it just kind of fits that whole grilling thing and like barbecue ribs and stuff. Anyway, Rai Z, I saw you up here earlier, my friend. I was gonna call you out. Thanks for swinging by. Wanted to see what's on your mind. If you're still free to speak, feel free to come back. Tevi, you also jumped up between now and earlier when I was rugged. Welcome to the stage, my friend. How's the evening going?
What's up? How's everyone doing? Evening is going great. I was just surprised to find out that Chicana also has a shoe thing going on. I did not know about that. So this whole time I was just kind of scrolling and going through her page, which then took me to Carlton Rain, and kind of working through that, just trying to find out a little bit more details around that. I don't know if we want to talk a little bit more about. I want to talk a little bit more about that. Just understand, like, is the drop over? Like, how does one go about getting a pair? Or is there a website I can go to? I made it as far as Carlton Rain's Twitter page. I can obviously keep going down that rabbit hole, but I figured Shekinah's here, so maybe she can provide a bit more details if she wants to.
Yeah, I'm trying to get someone on the team to jump in and talk. So hold on a second for that.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So I guess in the meantime we can talk about whatever. But that's there you go. I like the I saw you just pinned the ledger thing, which I think is cool, by the way. I know you're not a big fan, Jack, but I like it. I think it's dope. I think it's if you're gonna have a case for a ledger and it looks like a vial and it's metal, it's pretty cool. I don't know how much they're gonna be though. I think that's gonna determine if I'm to get one or not. I think cool looking.
Think it came a little bit too late. I've got 2 ledgers, and none of them are artifact ones. Would have been cool to pick up earlier, but yeah, maybe a little too late for me.
Yeah,
That
I totally agree. Like I already have a ledger, and it works great. I don't know that I want to go through the trouble of resetting the whole thing again. But if I can get my hands on just the stainless or whatever metallic case that they have in the form of the little vial, I think that would be cool. Just more as a collector piece. But again, it's more how much is it going to be? I don't think I'm going to buy the artifact branded ledger because I don't need two.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really cool design though. I'm loving it. But yeah, I was just came up to say hi. I know I've got a mutant PFP, but I was doing some blur trading, thought I'd keep it, and ended up just flipping it straight away. So I'm right click saving at the moment, and I'm planning to rock the clone again. But just wanted to see because I've just did like last night, stayed up way too late, having a look at all the announcements that Artifact has made since well on the Discord, and had seen that it's been like 311 days since the Monolith one opened and we got our dunks and our vials, and I was just wondering what do you guys reckon is the next thing that Artifact is gonna try and deliver on? Is it gonna be Animus? Is it gonna be vials? Obviously the IRL kicks and season 1 Forge is coming. What do you guys reckon?
I would say honestly, I think it's going. The next thing that's probably going to drop, and that's just my take, is the season one items. I believe they're already being manufactured as we speak. And the only reason I say that, and I feel fairly confident about it, is because I did reach out to have some of my items sized down, and it was the feedback that I got was, we may or may not be able to because they started, but long story short, they were able to get me the size that I need. So uh, I think I'll be taken care of. I don't know when they're gonna drop exactly, but if we go by the announcement, it should be sometime in the next month or so. Would be my guess. So I think it's coming, and to hear that again, there was that a little bit of concern on not being able to change sizes because we're moving, I think is awesome. Now obviously I'm glad that I was able to get my sizes updated, but I was even happier to hear that they were moving on that. So yeah, I think that's going to be the next thing.
Yeah, Rise, I think they'll do. That's a great reminder, honestly, of the monolith and its opening, and 310 days later, when Evo X, the most, I
When
think,
even better.
amazing. Dude, I think it's going to be the most amazing thing that this space has seen, because if you look at the breeding functionality of vials and evolution mechanics tied to levels, like, it's insane. So it's like in my mind, hopefully it's around that 1 year anniversary. That's longer than I would have ever thought I would ever say for something like that. But that would be my thought on it. I think that Evo X will start to happen after Artifact reworks their website and includes inventory, which is that piece that was hinted at in September. Inventory is an Unreal Engine powered inventory screen like you would find in a game. And I think that they'll do Evo X with the crypto dunks. They'll allow us to equip our crypto kicks. We can NFC tag, verify our digitals, like the hoodie I'm rocking right now, compared to my digital. And maybe that does something. Maybe my drip multiplier or my reward point multiplier goes up because I'm rocking physicals and digitals across this, whatever it is they have us doing. Maybe it's questing is kind of how it all ties together, and that would be my thought is June, July, August. We do something like that. The next big IP play of Artifact is Animus. Animus will have a large physical space activation later this year. So in my mind, Animus is an October, November thing, maybe 2 year mark of clones, just picking something. So that'd be like late November, because then you target, you know, Christmas, you target Thanksgiving, people with families, all that. Like you could get, you know, more boost in that sense at that point in time. That'd probably be like the really high level, but I know we got Shekinah and Hemi with the hands up. And for the record, we love.
Can you pull up culture? Or can you pull up culture?
Oh yeah, I tried to. I hit accept on his request or her request. There it is. So I don't know if it just rugged when joining or what. Yeah, we got him now.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can ask him all the questions, Tevi.
Yeah, I couldn't get pulled up for some reason. Thanks for bringing me up, guys.
I will wait till we get through the rotation, and then I'll have a couple of questions. But I know Jack was going, and then I'm sure Clone has his hands up too, so I'll wait.
Yeah, to me.
Oh, I just had a question on how to connect my hoodie to the NFT. I could never do it. Is there like a tutorial on how to do it?
I don't think you can do it yet. I don't think that site's live yet, the world merging.
No, it is. Yeah, you can do it.
Oh, okay. I haven't done it then.
I haven't done it yet either. I think you just like, I tried to and it didn't work. So then messaged Anya on Discord and she fixed it. So like, I think you just hold your phone up to the NFC chip and then it should pull up a thing. And then you I think you go into your artifact account on your computer. And then I think you scan the QR code that the artifact account gives you on the computer to verify that it's you on your phone. But I'm not 100% on that. Compound probably already did it.
Yeah, Compound.
What up, guys? Yeah, no, I jumped up to help. I've done about 3 hoodies now. It's pretty simple. Just tap your phone on the chip, and then it'll pull up the world merging thing online. And then, kind of what Jack said. There's a little QR code. You scan it, and then you do a little transaction that signs on the blockchain. You actually pick your NFT that you want to like merge it to, and then you sign a little transaction that like locks it on the blockchain. And you're done, man. It's pretty simple. I have a video, actually, of Shauna doing it. I might be able to find it and send it to whoever just asked.
Okay. Where's this chip?
Yeah.
So I gotta scan the QR code, or I'll just put my phone to the chip.
Tap the chip, and then do you have a computer with you too?
Oh,
you could do it through MetaMask. You could do it through MetaMask and the browser in MetaMask, but it's easier on the computer. Because you're going to select an NFT from your profile on Artifact that you want to connect that hoodie to specifically.
Continue to desktop. How does the chip work? There's no battery in it or anything, right?
No. It just works forever, dude. It's like the one in your credit card.
Crazy.
The one in a credit card don't have a battery.
I gotta Google, how does thing chip work?
It runs on the heat that your body makes.
Oh.
Yeah, so the heat from your sweater and the body just powers up the chip. It's a new kind of technology.
Are you being? I don't think you're being for real, Compa. I feel like you're just being. I think you're just being ridiculous now.
You guys have never heard of like move to power? So every time it shakes and moves, a little gyro and it powers it up.
No.
Along with body heat.
Not even close.
Oh.
That was good though. You had me for. I was sitting here like, oh yeah, that cat. I'm like, wait a minute.
Welcome to the future, Tevi. The future is now.
Yeah, you almost had me.
The future is now. Jeez, that's the biggest cap.
While I'm up here and I have the mic, I do have a couple of questions for Cult and Rain. So that's, I know earlier I was asking Shekinah, but I was curious on the shoes and what's coming. Like, is that still accessible and what's coming next? And is there a website I can go to get all the information, or is that something that we can kind of quickly run down or run through? I saw sweaters and I saw shoes and I saw a few other things.
Absolutely,
So,
man.
anyways,
Guys, thanks for inviting me up. So Shakana hit me up. I was like, you got to come here and explain Colton Rain to the audience. My name is George. I'm the founder of Colton Rain. I just told Andy to pull on up too. Andy's on our handle, and he's my partner in crime, our co-founder, and also our CMO. Andy, say hi, man.
Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, nice to see everyone.
So yeah, to answer your question, very easy. Go to coltonrain.com. Take a look. We got a radical website built. We've been around now for about a year. Started with our Genesis collection of sneakers, matched with one-to-one physicals, luxury made in Italy, same factory that produces for Balenciaga, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. We've then moved on to Drop One, which is our varsity jacket drop. Did a bunch of collabs there with different artists and communities. And now we're about to launch Drop 002, which is a chipped hoodie, again, produced at a luxury factory that does Fear of God hoodies, so super top notch. Team and I come from luxury fashion, entertainment, and we have some tech execs part of our crew. And yeah, man, we're Colton Rain. We're open book. Whatever questions you guys have. I know you guys were talking about the NFC chip, so we've been studying that like super deep, and we're gonna be launching our hoodies chipped, partnered with LTD.Inc. And I think what's unique about our setup is they're actually launching a digital marketplace Q3, and we're gonna tap into that, and we'll be launching their API on our website so that the digital hoodie itself becomes the NFT, and you can trade the physical on our website starting Q3. So that's kind of game changing, and we've been deep into that tech, studying it, and we're really proud to be unveiling it on our Drop 002. And moving forward on all our product lines, it'll be incorporated with the chip. And so we think that's the future in digital fashion. We think that's where we can capitalize on and where our community and our holders can, benefit from. Because we're not a PFP project, so we've never been. We're building a fashion brand born from Web3. And yeah, man, we're super proud to be here, and thanks for inviting us up.
no, that's really cool. Thank you for giving the quick rundown. I'm actually on the website now. I'll look at everything. I'll check it out, and if I have questions, I'll reach out.
100%, man. And always,
I'm gonna
happy
follow
always happy
you
to
and-
come back, talk about, what we've been through, the wars, the battles, the scars, surviving Web3 for a year. And look, man, we're still standing, shit's not easy, but we're grinding forward. We're building every day. And yeah, like I said, building a brand from grounds up is not easy. We've had the love of our community behind, and we're pushing forward, man. It's been a battle, but yeah, we're pushing forward and building ahead.
Speaking of love, really quickly, I pinned a post up. I'm trying to get Shekinah on a whoa. Am I echoing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tebby was echoed too. So I think we're all.
Yeah, we're all. Is that you, Jack? Did you hit the echo button or something?
Yo, I
was
ain't taking
wild.
credit on that.
I hate hearing my own voice.
Coulter was getting some feedback.
It's okay. He has dope shoes, so he's allowed to do whatever he wants. That's the rules. I don't make them up. But
Unless
if we could show
Kuro's talking.
Shekinah some love. No, anyone can interrupt me. I love it when people interrupt me because usually I'm just going to say some bullshit. Today's one of the first times I'm actually going to say something useful. But yeah, I'm trying to get Shekinah up on this thing. What do you call it? On this showcase. It's with NFT Now and a few other people. I really love it if you guys could just support the post so that they're going to let her up anyways because they can't not let her up because I already suggested her. But I just want them to show us to show that we support our clones, and we don't need a founder to like our posts. We have each other.
I appreciate you, Kuro. And yeah, no, I will talk to Brittany because she will let me up.
No, she has to. You cannot be denied from any stage. I've already put this word out.
I have her number. I will call her So I appreciate you letting me know because this wasn't on my radar. So I appreciate that, man.
Oh, we're gonna see some clones win big this year. I don't give a shit. It has to happen. We've been in this ecosystem for like almost 2 years now. We've been doing our thing. We don't need any founders' help. We like the founders still, but we don't need their help. We got each other. That's how I feel about that.
It's always kind of funny because I was sitting here asking everyone, what do we think we're going to do for this next 4 to 6 month period of laying in wait? And I think what we're going to do is continue to support each other, continue to have spaces to talk about what's going on, what people have going on, and how we can act as a community, as one group of people who are interested in something somewhat similar. And note to self, when Shekinah calls her squad, they all show up, everyone. And don't forget that, because we got Colton Rain, founder, Colton Rain official account. I saw the
Showing
Colton Rain
love, my friend.
person
Showing love.
below, too.
I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was Jack. I don't know. See, he's going into the Clonespiracies. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to say like metaverse, but we don't know what's going on with Jack. But we're here, and no, it's always good to call up my peeps to support the space and just survive and talk and talk fashion. What's up, Polly? I don't. Was it Polymon? I can't say this name. Polymon.
Hey,
Polymonathan. I want to
it's
say like Polymonathan.
it's polymonothan. It rhymes with my first name, which is Jonathan.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Hey, thanks for letting me speak. This is my first time talking here. You guys might know me from the weekly clone facts threads that I post. I'm also developing a web app for the community that should be pretty fun. But really, what I wanted to say is I wanted to touch on that NFC tech issue that some of you brought up earlier. It sounded like there were some misunderstandings, but it's really quite simple. So your phone, when you bring your phone up to the NFC chip, it generates an electromagnetic field. That field induces an electric charge in the coil inside the NFC chip in your sweatshirt or whatever it is you're wearing, and then that charge basically powers a small transmitter that sends a radio frequency message back to the phone, and that's it. I know there was some confusion about how it works without a battery. That's basically how it works. There's that little coil, and an electromagnetic field generates a charge, and then that charge is what powers the transmitter. So that's the reason that there's no battery or anything else like that. That's all. I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Polymonothan. Much better explanation than Compound down there, trying to gas us with body heat and everything else in between. So,
Oh my god, did he just explain how it works?
yeah.
I just got back. Does you mind going over it again?
And by the way, I love your threads. I learned something new all the time when you post, so I appreciate them. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you so much.
How does it work?
Body heat, Hemi. It's all body heat.
Oh my
The more
gosh.
you sweat, the more charge you generate, and the better your signal is to connect. That's what somebody called Compound told me.
Shout out to Compound though. I just leaked my hoodie, so he came through with that, and then stuff you Compound because I just missed the alpha.
No, Polymonothan was telling us. Polymonothan, I love your clone facts threads as well. I think they're very entertaining, and the amount of time you put into looking for those cool clones, those special few. I enjoy them, man. So keep doing your thing as long as you keep enjoying doing your thing, I guess would be my ask.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you recognize that it actually does take me a lot of time. So like all the positive feedback I get makes all the difference. That's what motivates me to keep tweeting. So thanks a lot.
It takes hours. It's not like it's a 30-minute thing, man. It's an hours long thing. Plus scrolling the collection, which we've all done, but like writing about the collection, getting the screenshots into the thread format, getting your words in there, spell checking, making sure you got character limits, using the right hashtags, proper emojis. Bro, it's an entire thing, but you put in the work and it really does shine and it does come across. So I do really appreciate it. And thanks for coming up on stage, man. Happy to have anyone. Honestly, not to belittle you coming up, but happy to have anyone come up first time, 100th time, whatever it might be. This is a very open space, regardless of PFPs or how one may have come across them, Rise Z. But yeah, Hemi, it's a small electromagnetic field that gets induced in a coil, which then powers a small transmitter, and that's why it's called near field communication, because the transmitter can only power so far.
Okay, cool. Appreciate that.
I think I said it right. I'm not really sure.
No, that makes sense. I was just when I was tapping it the first time, it wasn't really. I don't know, it wasn't working properly, so I might have just given up. But I just had it around properly and tried to do it, and it worked. So you're all linked up. Appreciate it. I'm not fighting again, but little things like that. I don't know what artifact I make videos or tutorials on how to connect it, which would help. But it is what it is. Appreciate you, Compound.
It'll come through soon, probably. What up, Risey?
Yeah, I just NFC chips. I'm pretty sure I remember them saying your phone has to be like upright, like directly up against the chip for it to scan properly. But I'm not sure if that's cap or not. But yeah, just wanted to your theory on the inventory app just got me thinking, like with equipping shoes and points and stuff. Like it would be really cool if that all ties in with like this the CryptoKicks IRL quests. Like you equip your avatar for a certain quest, get points. Obviously not drip token. We know that's out the window, but maybe points you can use towards new drops or shoes or something. That'd be pretty cool, and then it'd be a good way to tie in the ecosystem. Yeah, I think you guys reckon so inventory first and then dunks and everything else. Do you guys reckon?
I think they'll do like the season 1 Forge, the physical side first. They'll get the NFC chips linked on different people's profiles, and then those profiles will probably integrate into inventory. And I think once we have the inventory platform, then we'll probably go Evo X. That would be my guess on that. Because that kind of gives us a foundation to really build off. It gives a reward for having a rare skin vial versus a human skin vial, even though human skin vials could become the coolest thing ever because they might be able to turn into anything. And like honestly, the design of the crypto dunk with the human skin vial is still amazingly epic. So yeah, I think that'll be sweet.
Yeah, man, I want dunks and Evo Vals ASAP. I have been so bullish on them since they launched, and then they've just sat in my wallet and taunted me every single day. I think it's such cool tech, but yeah, just so many deliverables that Artifacts needs to fulfill. But yeah, don't tell anyone, but I've made a couple of offers on some Murakami DNA Evo X files. So if anyone knows anyone who is looking to sell them, then let me know.
Those might be one of the coolest absolute items in this entire space because it's Takashi Murakami's art in a digital format that can be blended and evolved. This is all speculation for the record. I must give that disclaimer after getting brutally wrecked multiple times going the wrong directions. However, this time it's different. It's like, I don't know, man, but in my opinion, how cool these things could be, yeah, that is an epic piece of digital content that's only going to evolve over time. and kind of become into what you, the potential future owner of said thing, want it to. And like the thing that jumped out at me early on, and like honestly, like a big reason that Clonespiracy started to talk about this stuff was I remember there was a panel of people in the ecosystem who did a patent breakdown on the CryptoKicks patents that Nike filed in 2019. Y'all know who you are. I don't know if I should be saying it or not, but that was like that was an inspiration of a space for sure. It was a deep dive into, you know, legal patents that Nike put out and then acquired Artifact to basically make them happen. And that's what the CryptoKicks IRL were. That's what CryptoKicks are. That's what the Evo X ecosystem can become. It's really pretty epic because the holders of these digital art pieces, these skin vials, they'll be able to basically choose. In theory, they'll be able to sell and monetize those digital creations that they evolve from the vials or the components that they own. And it's like these are skin designers, you know, like the thing that we all want in gaming is a good ass game that doesn't become pay to win, but you can do, you know, a dope skin that looks way cooler, like way cooler than everything else, and then it entices people to want to have that digital flex, that cool skin, that different way to identify in game. But like it doesn't take away from the game aspect itself. So like I think all of that is going to roll into digital skin creation for whatever Artifact is building all of these things to go into. And the high end digital play will be Artifact in the future, is my thought as far as gaming skins are concerned. When especially when you factor in evolution and like what it can do, it's crazy cool. And it's like Rise, you know, like earlier we kind of touched on Artifact Ledger collab, and it's like, yo, it's cool. Like, yeah, but I don't need another Ledger. So why should I get that kind of thing? And that's the same vibe it hit me with. It's like, hey, at this point, a lot of us have ledgers or Trezors or whatever the other ones are. A lot of us have cold wallets. And to me anyway, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but like you did exactly what you told us you weren't gonna do, which is you released a custom ledger, which Benoit tweeted in August saying, you know, it's gonna be cooler than a custom ledger. And it's like, yo, it's a white ledger with a blade on it though. Like that is a custom ledger. So in my opinion, I think it could be made better. So for me, the drop is like it's a okay, it's cool, but I don't necessarily love it personally. Is my take on it. Um, but I'm gonna loop this back because I was like, wait, why am I here? So I'm here because like we look at these things like digital quests and what could a digital collectible actually be? What could a reward for wearing this digital drip and these physical things actually be? I mean, it could be things like an artifact ledger, you know, an artifact co-branded ledger with that you can earn with reward points that you can get from doing quests. You know, like we can gamify not staking in the sense of Web3, but we could gamify staking or incubation or hibernation or whatever. Maybe hibernation could have some kind of point system that then you're able to claim physical merch, physical products with. And like that could be a cool way to really, you know, cross that line between Web 2, Web 3, but do it in a way that's sustainable that I think Nike can get behind. And the people can then use our points on dope ledgers that look like skin vials. I mean, the benefit to a brand behind the scenes of doing that, they can set whatever price point they want on that vial, and then they can say, hey, these people are using reward points to claim it. They could say those things are $2,000 a piece, and they just sold out 10,000 of them, and now they get the write off. Like that is madness. If you think about it, like that's what airlines do with frequent flyer points, and I've just been obsessed over reward points and the potential that they carry in Web 2 because banks get billions of dollars in loans. They give billions of dollars in loans to airlines who are leveraging against reward points, which are literally Web2 crypto coins that they supply and control the demand of and the burn rate. It is absolutely madness. And I'm totally off on a tangent, but that's where I think all of this can go. We can do physical product in a reward point based system in a way that makes way too much sense for any company to be involved in. And then also the holders are benefiting from custom artifact ledgers. And it's like when I say I think the drop is okay, it's because I'm seeing what else it could be. It's like, yo, it's a cool ledger. Like, yeah, it's fine, but it's like it could be better, and here's how. But it's like I don't want to just leave it as saying, hey, it could be better, and I don't like it. I'm gonna FUD it, blah blah blah. But I know, yeah. Anyway, that's my thought, Tevi. Before, just so you hear the whole thing, bro. I think it's cool, but I think it could be epic, and it's just not epic.
I hear you, and I got to take the other side of it, right? Uh, just because. But realistically, I hear everything you're saying. But where kind of how I see it, right, is I kind of go back to Artifact and really any collection out there, but we're talking Artifact. It's going to release things for not just the long-term holders, but also like new people. And, so it's been a big thing about safety and all that stuff, right? The other thing they're releasing with these ledgers, it's not just the ledger itself and the cool case, but it's also like the access to classes and things and teaching around being, safer and all that. So there's a whole, call it, program behind it, if I read it correctly. So yeah, could it have been more epic? And did the Benoit tweet kind of suggest that it would be like over the top? Yeah, probably, but I think the fact that they're giving you a cool ledger plus the educational aspect of things, and potentially reward, I think, down the road for access to other things, I think kind of goes kind of supports that. So it's not like, yeah, it's definitely not the over the top, but also it's ledger, right? Like that's what they do, cold storage wallets, and they're integrating with their marketplace and all those different things. So I think it's a fine release, and I actually like the fact that there's the educational aspect of it that's coming through as well. And the other thing I would say for you and everyone else, really, right? It's like this is a starting point, right? This is not the end all be all. This is where we're starting with this collaboration, and over time, it will grow into different things. But to kind of loop it back to what you were saying earlier with the reward system and all that, I do think that everything we're seeing right now and that has been built up to this point is really building up to physical activations later on this summer, right? And I keep going back to the CIRLs that are dropping. I think summertime is when they're coming. And if, right now Artifact is, head down, working and not communicating it or not putting a bunch of things out, it's likely because they're building up to that reveal and everything that comes along with it. And to kind of use the comment you made earlier of aim slow, shoot fast, I think that's literally what's going to happen here, right? Like they're working through all that. They're making sure that when they do come out with the next announcement, it's on point, right? And in between, it's going to be little drops here and there. I mean, we didn't expect Benoit to wear the AF1's Murakami's in real life. I did not see that one coming. And actually, I had made a post, I want to say a month ago, right, asking Zap to post a close-up picture of it, which I knew wasn't going to happen. But a month later, now they're on feet, and close-ups are all over the place. So I think a lot of the stuff is dripping out slowly but surely, and when it hits, it's going to hit hard. So I think it's fine to not love it, but again, I also think that, I think they kind of did more than just the ledger, to be fair. It wasn't just another ledger. It's you get the cool case and you're getting the educational content with it. Is it like over the top? No, but it's more than just a ledger, right?
So, Tevi, I have to correct my quote earlier because I misquoted myself, which is kind of entertaining. It's slow aim, fast bullet, which I think sounds cooler than aim slow, shoot fast. But honestly, I don't know now that I'm saying them both out loud. Anyway,
In racing, you have slow is smooth and smooth is fast, right? So um, I think that's where Artifact is going now, right? Like they've laid down the groundwork for like everything that they really need to deliver on. So this year they just have to deliver. They just have to bring it together, and pretty sure they will.
I agree. I think they will. I think that the ledger drop is fine, though, in that sense. And honestly, the piece that I want to hit back at, if you will, is the piece about unlocking education for holders of the ledger pass. It's like, are you kidding? You're telling us to protect the egg, but you're not giving us the ledgers and the access, or even the access to the education to protect the egg. I think that there is a mixed message behind that, and I don't support it. Honestly, Tevi, when I read the drop on it, I got more irritated simply because of the wording on the last two paragraphs of that article, and how it's very clear that you have to purchase the custom ledger, own their market pass to get access to their educational content on how to keep your assets safe. It's like, yo, this is a collab with Artifact. Like, open up the access to allow us to acceptably and properly protect the egg that has been entrusted to us for a meager cost to the team. I think that the ledgers honestly should have been sent out. I think that they should. That's my diehard stance on that one, and I sent it to the Clonespiracy's chat. It's the first thing that I've actually taken the "we want it for free" stance on. Which is different. But I just the sir requested.
I saw
We'll
Oh,
that.
see how this goes, y'all. Cass has requested.
Oh, here we
you want
go. But yeah,
free?
hold up. Before Cass gets on, all I'm gonna say is I need to go back and read that the last couple of paragraphs, but I did see I knew you were you were irritated because I was laughing when you said I wanted for free. I was dying looking at my screen here a little while back, but I knew we would be talking about it. So thanks for sharing how you truly feel. Anyway, Cass, all you fire away.
I was just gonna come in and obviously make some clarifications because yes, there is content that can be gated for some people, and I think that's always kind of normal where groups are trying to find ways to build out different aspects of value for the people that they're building for. But when it comes to like teaching people about how to stay safe and other things like that, there definitely will be public content that will be available for the space, not just, you know, a small group of people. And we've seen this before with them. We've done, ledger sessions in the Discord for a while. And yeah, when it comes to some of the other aspects about like where things could be, I think Cooking, we're all always on the same page. Most of us in this ecosystem definitely understand where we want to see things going, but at the same time, like it's usually going to come down to how those decisions get made and what's the best route at the best time. So like specifically the situation, giving away 20,000 ledgers, like I don't know if that would have been the best move because that's millions of dollars you just got to hopefully get out to all the right people because logistically shipping a lot of stuff, it is a lot. It is in, as you guys have seen with season one and some of the other things, like trying to make sure we get it all to the right people. That can be part of why things take a little bit longer than initially said. And, it's cool. I think the beauty of spaces like this is that there doesn't need to be someone always chiming in with this is the right answer. This is why Artifact is doing this. I like y'all to be able to just vibe and do whatever, say whatever you feel. But I think sometimes like some clarification and just a little bit of, just acceptance not acceptance in terms of like this is how everything should be, but sometimes this is just like the nature of where we're at. You know, I wish we had a reward system with all these things set up right now, but you know, this is not a recorded space. But you guys are smart people. You can read the
Cass,
room.
is it
Like,
just a ledger? Want to know?
I was gonna
Like,
say,
is there other aspect to it, like
Yo,
maybe
sub,
gaming side? I
sub.
just want
We're
to.
not gonna fish for nothing. This is Cass coming
yeah.
up here just to kind of say some stuff. We're not fishing. We don't fish for the alpha. We talk about the alpha, but this is Cass coming into a space just to say some words to us, and like, you know, that in itself is a pretty big moment. So I'll just ask that we be respectful of that. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
Cass like seconds away for actually spilling some good beans, and you interrupted him. Like he was gonna say something
Nah.
like right now, but maybe down the road, and like,
Yeah,
he was right there, and you stopped it. So now I don't.
yeah,
Cass,
Kat, back
keep
on top.
your thought going.
When
How you said win egg? Yeah, I think that's the only thing I caution everybody with, because I feel like that's part of where we wrecked ourselves a little bit as a group. Is we all got really hyped and around a lot of things. You know, I remember there was periods where I was hoping we were going to get like Olympic athlete level treatment in terms of free clothing, which like I blatantly stated that, and I will own that shit. But you know, I wasn't on the team at the time. I didn't see the behind the scenes. Also, didn't think about, hey, you know, sending out 20 parcels of hoodies and sweatpants to 20,000 people each, you know, each year. It's not necessarily the best model for thriving, but I think the general like sentiments in terms of like how to benefit people and how to give back and make things valuable, like all this stuff gets written down, gets thought about, gets talked about, gets where, you know, you can always try to find ways to improve. And I think if you read through that article, it does highlight that it's not just the physical item, there is a digital aspect. But at the end of the day, like I don't want to be that guy who comes in and starts trying to overpromise shit like we just said we're not supposed to be doing, and then end up back in the same scenario. So at the end of the day, we're gonna try to do cool shit, with other cool people. And I hope you guys will just keep riding with it. You know, that's the game plan.
Cass, you guys are doing cool shit, and Ledger is what I would define as cool people. I think that the whole thing is cool. I think personally it could have been different, and I've already shared that thought. And it's like looking at numbers and trying to break it down. You know, like there's cost benefit to really all of this and this entire ecosystem, this economy that we play in. And I'm gonna say play because I think collecting is a lot like playing. And I think that this economy that we play within, that we collect within, this game that we're participating in, it's all numbers at the end of the day. And it's a risk, reward, cost, benefit. Um, you know, it's a balance, really. And to me, I think that ledgers for holders of clones and ledger market passes is a very limiting way to give back in a small but impactful way, because to me it reminds me of the Fuo ledger drop, the artifact Fuocious ledger thing. I think that was a cool point in artifacts history, and I think that bringing that to this point in time is an impactful statement personally. For I don't know what a ledger even cost, but at cost those things got to be like $2. So like, but you know, we all know Ledger sells them way higher, and I have no idea if Artifact can get cost-based pricing from Ledger. That's out of my field. Really just sharing the thoughts, man. I put all that in a chat the other night, and it's like, I don't even know who reads those chats, but it was just something I wanted to bring up if it comes up today. And we kind of hit on it, we kind of didn't, and then we totally did. So yeah. You can respond if you like, but nothing required. I want to throw it back to that very first thing, though, Cass. Thank you for putting this space on the Discord on Artifact under events. That was awesome. I was hyped when I saw that. I know that it's helped people find the space. I know that it's going to help people find Bad Take. I know that it's going to help people find Booze Space on Thursday. So that was epic. And that was what I wanted to thank you for earlier. And then I think something happened. I was rugged. You were rugged. I don't know. But it's like, it's just this whole thing, man. So I appreciate the words. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Subscribe totally rugged a very intimate moment we were about to have.
Nah, I was gonna say, you obviously mentioned at the top of the spaces you've been definitely doing spaces for a while. You were the first person that I talked to in a clone spaces, and so always gotta show some love to the people who've been around. But I always miss these because this is the time of my day where I'm usually like trying to take my dogs out. I'm literally like preparing chicken right now, so I'm in the midst of like cutting fat off and like walking back and forth between my phone. But no, man, I think the goal has always been to find ways to highlight people, find ways to give back. You know, even like what you were talking about, it's not a numbers thing in my opinion, and I don't think we always look at things as like this is a numbers game and this is where we cut costs here to give costs there. It's more of a, you know, how can we effectively deliver something that is valuable for people who, you know, want to put the time in to collect and support. And I mean, most everyone who's been around or can look back at the ecosystem can see that Artifact's done a whole lot of different things to find ways to give back to early supporters and all that stuff. So who hit the ooh? I like I said, I'm preparing chicken, so I can't even see.
Yeah, I think it was Rise, but I'm not going to confirm
Nice.
or deny.
I mean, it's cool. Like I think people obviously can look at where things are now and have feelings and sentiments that are different than where they were at the top of the bull market, and that's part of a cyclical market and where we're at with the current sentiment and demand. But at the end of the day, if we could get to that point, is there any reason we can't get back? Is there any reason we can't be better than that? And yeah, that's why a lot of us still stick around and ride for this.
Hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that sound would play while my mic was muted. I was just trying to test it out and see what it worked, if it worked, because I'd never seen that before.
Hey, Rise, it works.
It works. Yeah, it works. That was embarrassing. Apologies. Cass, just a quick question. Is there any kind of plans to have like a community kind of board / council that Artifact can like run ideas by? I think a lot of people were talking about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I said it in an internal chat, but we should have never pushed that idea so hard because I saw so many people stole the concepts that we talked about within the first day. Because I think a lot of people when we first saw Benoit's tweet, like I was the first person to put his faces together, and we drafted basically like a whole bunch of stuff. But the real issue, in my opinion, as well, is like the long term nature of where we're gonna go if it's like turns into a popularity contest, if people get upset because they're not selected over others. And I'm not going to sit here and, like I said, start promising things and start running my mouth about stuff. But all of this these are things that like literally we've brought up, we've kind of planned out to some degree. So it's just a matter of making sure things are done properly and in the right way.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. It was just like I got big into 10KTF when Artifacts started slowing down a little, and what they did was really cool. They kind of just released a teaser, let people speculate on it for a long time, and then suddenly they just had this pool of ideas that they could pick and choose from, which was like coming from 10,000 holders. And then, when it eventually gets revealed and people are right about it, they absolutely love it. You know, like it's something that's really cool to see, like the ideas that the community generates actually coming to life when they don't know that the team is watching.
Cass, you might laugh at this, but I have an idea on that entire topic too. And I think I actually created something dope. Actively working on the minimally viable concept. And I think that's all that Jem is going to let me say before I get another text that says, stop talking about it. But you'll get a DM, bro. When it's working, I will DM you. I've been waiting. But I also need to figure out how to intellectually protect my property. And yeah, I got to figure that one out because I think it's gonna work. I think it's real.
Shekinah, you got a customer coming soon. It sounds like.
Yo, I minted a comic book. two books, Shekinah.
Appreciate it. I'm so tired right now, but no, I appreciate it. I'm hanging on. I'm not gonna make it to bad take, but I'm hanging on with you.
So just like that's just like a thing though. I mean, a lot of stuff like that, like Rise is saying, a lot of us have concepts, and Cass, I know you've heard mine, you've seen mine because I'm loud and I talk about them. I know a lot of people have seen them. We've talked about a lot of things on these spaces too, but I think getting a system in place that actually solves that concern, and I won't say engineers out all of our individual confirmation biases, but like that's been a big push of Clonespiracies in the last 2 months, I would say. In December, we more or less, we really doubled down on the concept of being a think tank with the goal of combating our confirmation biases, because I definitely seek to confirm the things that I already think. And as soon as I realized I was getting played by that shadow, I had to fight that shit. So we've been working on it. I say we as a space because it's definitely a we thing. I think all of us, as we continue to go through these spaces and these places and this whole Web3 thing, how early we are. It's like we all want it to be the thing that's the reason that we're all here. But it's like we have to remember, we are here because it's decentralized and it's different viewpoints from different people across different places and different countries that all have unique backgrounds that are all blending into this thing called Web3. And in this specific case, Artifact and the Artifact ecosystem, which is the thing that has united everyone in this space. And that's why we come together to talk about it, because it's interesting to other people who are here, like Polymonathon. I was like, yeah, anyway, like he's making, epic tweets about like highlighting different clones. Like he's talking about cool things like that. Tevi's animation. He's an artifact creator. Shekinah's making comic books. I could go down. I'm just going to not go down because as soon as you start scrolling the audience, you got to say every single thing that you know about everybody so that you don't leave
Aunt
nobody
Ben,
out.
I'm gonna shout out Aunt Ben.
Do it. Shout out Aunt Ben.
I can't say the name that's like synonymous. Like, help me out, please. Help me.
Synonymous.
There you go. Boom.
No.
I got the hoodie.
Jack,
Well, I don't have it, but I ordered the hoodie. So
I might have spent my hoodie money on a comic, Ant Ben, but maybe I'll come back for wave 2. I don't really know how to say that. I got my OGT though, you know that. So yeah, just some thoughts. Like I think this whole ecosystem is going to continue to evolve, and I have to default back to some drops are going to be epic, some drops won't be for everyone, and that's okay. So it's kind of my thought on that, I guess. With that said, opening it up, subscribe, dude. I know you had your hand up. I'm kind of curious what's on your mind.
I feel like being a hypocrite right now, bro. I'm gonna call you out on that. You're kind of being biased and saying you're not being biased. When I think about these ledgers, like you mentioned, like it could be just another ledger, and you got a ledger. But I could say that about shoes. I got shoes. Why do I need shoes with another Nike? I mean, I think that the CIRL is dope because it's different. I would really want to see something different with the ledger. Maybe they do something, especially with gaming, because you're always opening up your wallet in order to, access these games. And we haven't had a game yet, but that'll be interesting if we apply ledger with our gaming. So I want to see something different, not just a ledger. If it's just a Nike brand just slapped onto a ledger, like I would want to know that. And this is not being biased. It's just I want to know what the product we're getting.
Yeah, yeah. All of the info that we have to date just says that it's a ledger and a case for a ledger, and that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, I think it's a cool drop. It's okay. It's not like epic. It's not great, is how I look at it. So that's just my personal take. Like I know Tevi really likes it. I know Rise was saying earlier, he has 2 ledgers, so does he need another one, kind of thing? And it's like I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, he also mentioned that this is not the last thing. So Ledger probably coming out with something new, and we got the first access just because we're part of this community, right? We got the first access to this new Ledger, and in a sense, we're like test dummies, test mouse, but we got access to this new Ledger that do freaking amazing things.
Yo, I just needed to huddle my clone and protect my egg until the grand crackening. I don't need it to do nothing else, personally.
I gotta laugh at that. That's pretty epic. But yeah, no, I mean, I do take the long term view, honestly, on everything and on this space, and this is why I like I love the
Yo,
artifact.
Pump want us to copy his PFPs.
Yo.
Oh, yeah. Anyway,
No,
yeah. Go ahead, Pumpy.
yeah, I just wanted to add to what he was saying about the ledger. Yeah, I get it that it might be like kind of boring or like we don't have too much information or what it might be. But to connect with what you were saying, like kind of halfway through is like, all right, like you said with shoes, like a Nike shoe's cool. We could wear Skechers. It does the same exact thing. But obviously, like if you're into something, you're into something. You want, like for example, you could get Skechers for $20, or you could buy some Travis Scott shoes or like some Air Forces that are like $1,000. But you're buying it because of like the collector side to it more so than like it being what it is. Obviously, a ledger is like a personal item that you keep at home. Nothing you could like, I guess you can't say it's a flex, but I feel like as a collector's item for what it is, 100% I understand you too by thinking like by saying like it's boring by just being a ledger, but then I also think about it in the aspect of why I even bought Artifact in the first place, which is like because I like sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead, so to get access to specific things, which is like the main reason I bought my clone, and then I just got into everything else along the way. But I wanted to say like, sure, it could be boring. We might not get anything else with it, but at the same time, as someone who likes to like collect collectibles, I feel like it's a cool item, even if it just sits still and doesn't. That's just the only thing I wanted to add to it.
Yo, what happened if they slap on a GPS to that? Because how much people lost their ledgers and they find it later on 10, 15 years and was like, holy crap,
I don't want anyone
we
else to
found
find
it.
my ledger, so if it's lost, I'm gonna order a new one and just shit. I'm gonna move on.
It could have the Find My Ledger, like Find My iPhone, but that would be cool.
Slap an air tag on
But
the back of it.
But no, what I was gonna say though, like I tend to take the longer term view, and I feel like all of these things are just entry points. Honestly, like all joking aside, that's how I really feel about it, right? Like, so I don't think Artifacts is, just going for the next year or the next 2 years,
Yeah, I
right?
think what you mentioned about it being a collectible is interesting because you see other companies been doing that, and in a sense, this will be a collectible. You see, like
We've also
the
seen how many
smallest
clones
things,
have been robbed.
pens, for God's sakes. Like Hello Kitty partnered up with these pens, just simple pens, and people buy it just because it's Hello Kitty, right? But
And so many
yeah,
clones have been stolen in the last year that I guess it makes sense as a collab, like to keep people safe or like motivate someone maybe who's never bought a ledger and isn't interested to buy one because they think they're invincible for whatever reason and don't think they're gonna click something and get drained. And look at this as like a way, like, oh shit, I have a cool ledger. Like I could buy this cool ledger to keep my stuff on it just because it has that little vial feature or like the blade on it, you know? I feel like that also like kind of helps in the sense of security, I guess. Because if I was a sucker and I didn't have a ledger and I saw that, I'd be like, oh shit, I need that.
That's a good take. That's a good take, Pump. I agree. I think that if anyone doesn't have a ledger right now, first off, smack yourself hard on the cheek, please, with one of your hands because you need, or a cold wallet, a cold storage, a something to protect your egg. Because for months we have been told to protect, and for a year now we have seen people in our community lose assets. And when I say our community, I mean Web3. Every single day, I feel like I open Twitter and I see a new one. At least, I don't know, it feels way more frequent, uh, way less frequent these days. But like over time, people click on stupid things and lose their assets. And it's like, y'all, clones are not to be played with, apes not to be played with. Anything you cherish in Web3, not to be played with. Like lock your stuff down. It's like we've gone through it on here too. The analogy is keeping a clone in a hot wallet is like parking your seven or your Lambo outside of a 7-Eleven and connecting to a free mint website is equivalent to leaving the keys in your Lambo running and going inside for a 79-cent Slurpee. It's like, would you do that in real life? You probably wouldn't. So don't do that in Web3. It's like get a cold wallet, protect yourself, put your stuff in it, and then don't touch it unless you have to. It's really that simple. So, yeah, if this collab is what it takes to motivate someone to actually finally get a ledger, then good job. I understand it, but also slap yourself for not getting one to this point.
I think early in the game, I don't know. There's two ways to look at it, right? It's bad for the person that got their stuff stolen, but at the same time, we see these bots when it reach a certain level, all these bots start selling, and then we got a new floor, right? And it's like, okay, they got sell limits. Like, how much bots are there in this freaking game?
An interesting thing I saw on a YouTube video, right? Just to quote something that's reliable. Um, it was all about how like the current Web 2 as we know it today, the Googles and the Yahoos and the whatever else, Bing, I guess, Facebook, all that, even Twitter, it's all going to be operated by bots. And, like bots will run this current version of the internet. But when Web3 actually comes out, when we actually have a way to differentiate what is a bot and what is a verified person from an account on the internet, I guess I'll call it, like that's when we actually hit Web3, and that's when we actually can figure out who's real in this space of anons, I guess, because you don't really know what an account is if it doesn't come into a Twitter space. It doesn't show up at, IRL events. It doesn't talk. Like, I guess I could be a very, very intricate, very moody, very emotional bot, but I'm probably not a bot. So let's just rule that out. Pretty sure.
To add to the ledger thing being important, I have a lot of friends that don't know much about NFTs and see people getting their wallet drained and they're like, hell no, I'm not buying an NFT. Hell no. You see this guy just spent X amount of money and just got it all stolen, and then that's when I have to explain what a ledger is and then how not to be dumb and click something when you have, say, 100K worth of stuff and you're trying to make sometimes $20, $50, whatever it is that's free. It's just illogical at times. But from what I've seen from people who don't know much and see these like hacks and whatever happened, they're just like, it's like an instant turn off. Like, why would I ever put my money into something that I can risk just getting it all stolen? And like there's nothing you could do about it, honestly, either. What, you call OpenSea and they flag it, then what? You're not getting it back. The person's not going to send it back. There's like there's no satisfaction on the end of the person who just got
I
robbed.
think we got it light, my friend. I mean, back in Web 2, everybody get their identity theft, right? We got it light, honestly. We're losing money that, we're kind of playing around with this Ethereum and Bitcoin. We don't even know if it's really going to skyrocket. Some people skyrocket it, but, it's Web 3. We just lost money. It's not really identity theft. We got it light, honestly.
But identity theft, like, it's like, this is how I look at it now. It's like putting your credit card on a website that's like Nike Sneakers Authentic.com. Like, if you see that nowadays, you know that's fake. Or like, like the fake websites where they sell fake shoes, try to make it look real. Like, at this point in time in Web 2, that's common sense. This stuff in Web 3 isn't common sense yet, which I feel like is the problem.
Which is a good thing why we're getting fucked over right now, because now we're learning. Same thing in Web 2 when people got fucked over in the beginning. Like, it has to happen in order for everybody to learn and for everybody to get onboarded. I'd rather lose $3,000 now than lose my identity, like a whole $500,000 in the future. Like, I'd rather this happen.
Yeah, protect your assets, I guess, and don't leave your Lambos outside of the 7-Eleven with the keys in them. That's kind of the best way I can say that. And if this collab is what gets you to get a ledger, good. I'm glad. And my thoughts, my personal thoughts on it are, it's cool, but it could have been cooler. But that's only given the information that we have now. I don't know what if anything is happening, and I'm not going to go down that road because it's like we don't know what we don't know. We just have to be okay with that. At this point in time is really my take on that, my thought. But yeah. What do you
Well,
guys
I
think?
apologize for coming off a little bit. I feel like I do agree with you guys. I think we need to see the broad term of the spectrum of whether it's good, whether it's not. Just look at different angles, because I feel like seeing one-sided is just keeping too much tunnel vision, and we need to see every different angles, and not just the good but the bad, and see how we can progress in the future.
That's what is so special about the space. Subscribe is the ability to come together to talk about different angles on a topic, and then to just, I guess, everyone feels like they at least learned a little bit about other viewpoints on said topic. So yeah, all good, man. I appreciate the thoughts and appreciate you coming up and talking. Pump, you too, man. Appreciate you. I'll invite anyone else. Like, if you got thoughts on it, feel free. This is about as open. We've hit many different angles on it, but like, if you have something that hasn't been shared or said or anything like that, feel free. Good night, Shekinah. GN, she out.
I wanted to add to what I was saying too is I'm not the smartest person in the world either too, because when I first started doing NFTs as well, and I would get those random Discord messages like, you've been whitelisted for this, my dumbass fell for it a few times. Luckily I didn't click anything or connect my wallet or mint, but I feel for the people who are new coming into this blindly and get got in certain areas, or like certain scams that seem so real. So I'm not going to act like, oh, I'm a genius, I knew this all along. Obviously I had to learn those things myself too, so I could see why it's still an ongoing issue. Because like, for me, I'm lucky to have people like you or whatever, people on Twitter that I could just be like, say I was in a situation like that and I was a newcomer, I could be like, hey, do you guys know if this is real? Hey, do you guys know if I'm going to get scammed? Rather, there's that one guy who just hopped into this alone, doesn't really have a guidance, doesn't know anyone, clicks that link and then just gets screwed, which I feel like is common, as we all see. So, yeah.
Kaiba may or may not have just DM'd me something dope. If he wants to share his thoughts, he is able to request and tell the space what's on his mind. If he doesn't want to, he can DM me and tell me that I can share what he sent me or he can give me some thumbs up emojis. Yes, Kaiba, I'm looking at you. MK2, MK drip, bald head in that artifact hoodie. He gave me a thumbs up. Okay, the take is that, and this is just pure out of Kaiba's head, everyone, but the kid's pretty sharp if you ask me. So his thought was that, he says he can't talk at the moment, but we're good to rip. The thought was, what if these ledgers are basically the Pokeball equivalent for Animus? That would be fire, in my opinion, if these kind of became like Master Balls or Ultra Balls or Ledger Balls. Ledger Balls has a terrible ring to it. They should not go with that name. But we could figure something else out that's different. Just a thought.
Don't overhype it.
Yeah, there's nothing to facilitate that.
We went down that road. Let's not go down that road.
Kaiba's texting me all sorts of.
I got a new PFP. You guys liking this this clone? So if you guys don't have a clone, you guys either can get that Clone King or this Reptilian Overlord. Everybody can use this PFP apparently.
Sub, doesn't matter when anyone has a PFP, man. They can identify however they want. Kaiba just said basically using blind signing as a way to like battle Animus without having to actually connect a wallet to anything. That was kind of what he was saying, as the ledgers could be our Pokeballs-esque thing. Tevi, I was going to hit accept, but it dropped you back down. So if you do want to talk, just hit request, man. It takes me a second sometimes because the mute everyone button is in the same place as the request button. And if I tap it at the wrong time, I actually mute everyone, which gives me empathy as to some other Spaces hosts who may mute people frequently. It makes me aware of the challenges that they face and have faced. What do you think about using that as like a blind signing battle?
I think it's a very interesting concept, honestly. And actually, I was hoping Kaiba could come up and kind of talk through it a little bit more, but I don't know. I don't know how that would exactly work. But that would be cool if they found a way to do that. Obviously, I mean, if people have been in this space before with me, and every time we talk about Animus and Pokemons, you know that I feel very strongly that that's very likely where this is going, and the whole AR aspect of it, I think, gets incorporated at some point. But the simple fact that your CIRLs do have the ability, or at least were communicated as potentially having the ability to vibrate when other clones are nearby, I think there's some really cool gaming mechanics that you could build in with Animus and clones and near, as people are like near one another or whatnot. So I'm not really sure how the ledger plays into that, unless, and this is completely just thinking on the spot and just whatever, but unless if you went down the path of saying, and this makes probably no sense, but I'm going to say it anyways, but if you went on the path of like, hey, you meet with somebody, you battle their Animus or whatever, and then you beat them and you're able to catch it, right? Then it goes directly into your ledger and is protected that way. Now, how do you make that happen? I feel like that would be like a technological nightmare to work through all that and make it all seamless. But I don't know. I'm just literally going off of what Kaiba just said and thinking through that in my head, trying to formulate how that would even work and how you could do that. And I think that's kind of cool. Also, I think it's fine to speculate and go down the rabbit hole as long as we don't sit here thinking that Artifact has to do it. Like, this is what they're going to do. But I think it's fun to speculate, and I think it's we should speculate and think about what all they could do, right? Whether or not they do it doesn't really matter. Like, people can dream, so I think it's fine to do that, and that's actually what I look forward to in this space specifically, is the ability to kind of go off on little tangents. But I think we all learned our lesson, which is not expect that whatever we dream up is exactly what they will do or they should do, but simply that we're all coming together and sharing our thoughts and ideas about what the future could be. So, anyways, I love the idea, Kaiba. If you're down there, I don't know where if you are, but I do love the idea and the concept.
Tavi, I know how we could do it too, or at least a thought on how we could actually do it. Because if we have NFC chips in our hoodies or our shoes or whatever that's tied to our vault, which has our actual asset in it, and Ledger knows that we own the NFC chip that's tied to the digital asset that confirms that I am the holder of said Animus, then that allows me the ability to go make decisions surrounding that said Animus without having to carry my ledger with me, which maybe it won't be trading, but maybe you can set up like a queue trade to accept the transaction later or whatever, or you can at least battle with them meanwhile in the streets, because either we're going to be co-gym leaders, Tavi, of Mall of America, or we're going to be really good rivals, and we will meet up at Mall of America to determine who runs the gym for the next month. That'd be fun.
It's
Kaiba, you got to play for that too.
it is for sure happening. Like I said, there's a reason why I got multiple CRLs for the elements. Like, yeah. I if of all the things I've dreamed up when it comes to Animus, I just really hope they let me infuse multiple elements, and that somehow I can link it all back to the crypto dunks, especially now that I have an undead vial. Um, and like, yeah, do all that stuff. Like, let me mix and merge powers and create a true OP Animus. That's what I want.
You
If I
got the undead vial, Tavi.
Yes, I
What?
I I did not buy it. Well, I technically bought it because I bought the monolith, which had the vial in it. Yes, I
You
was very
revealed an undead?
yes, sir. I was very
Nice,
excited.
dude.
I was very excited about that. Actually, I was sitting in my loft with my daughter, and I opened it up, and it showed up, and I started sweating. I couldn't breathe. It was amazing. It was probably one of the highlights of in the last month for me in this ecosystem. It was great, because I would never spend what people want me to spend to get one on secondary. But I love the idea of pulling that out of the monolith. That was pretty amazing.
All right, there's a person with a dot that's coming up. Was really excited with all of the emojis. Um, Dot, what's on your mind? Dot, can you hear me? I don't know.
I think they're still
Tavi, that's
muted.
dope though.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to the space. Do you have any questions on Artifact, or do you have any theories you'd like to share?
I can't understand you.
That's okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, why don't you explain what the artifact is? She probably don't know what our community is about.
I think it's a language barrier. I don't know what language.
My English language is very bad. O kadar. Zeynep yardım et.
What is your first language?
It's Turkish.
Ooh, I can't help you there. If it was French, I would have been able to help out, but I do not speak Turkish, unfortunately.
Does
That's
anybody
bad.
speak Turkish in the audience?
No.
I like
Well,
Turkey.
I'm glad she came up and still said hello. That's really dope, actually. So thanks for saying
I
hello.
I agree. Hello.
Hello.
We'll try and talk some point.
Ay sinirlerim bozuldu Zeynep.
Kaiba has
Clone and Tevila. Adı Tevila mı bunun? Tevilavsın.
That is me. Yes.
What's your name?
You literally just said it. That is my real name.
Devisla.
It's two words. It's Tevi is the first name and Lawson is the last name. But yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand now.
Yeah.
Okay. Tevi. Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Nice to meet
My
you as
name
well.
is Hülya.
Philia?
No. Hülya.
Hilia.
Hülya.
How do you spell that?
Hülya. Hülya.
Hoodia. Okay, Hoodia.
Yes, perfect.
Very nice. That's a pretty name.
Thank you. You're so kind. Thank you so much, Tevi.
Of course. This is a space where we share thoughts, ideas. We appreciate everyone, and again, I know it takes a ton to come up and speak, and so again, thank you for coming up and speaking. Are you in Turkey? If you are Turkish, or are you somewhere in the U.S.?
I live in Turkey.
Cool.
In
What time
Istanbul.
is it there?
5. 6. No, 6.
6 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
Is it more? Okay. Oh, it's pretty early there. Yeah, it's nighttime over here.
What time is it here?
It's 8:50, so it's evening
Where
time
are you?
in the U.S.
Oh, perfect. Allah nasip eder umarım bana da Zeynep, değil mi?
Not sure what that meant, but it sounded cool. Hopefully it was something cool.
We got Kaiba up on stage. Kaiba, would you like to elaborate more on your thoughts? And please translate to Turkish if you have the ability.
I can do that. Yeah, totally, for sure. I don't think that Clonespiracies has gone in this direction. You know, we've gone in so many different directions, but this may be the craziest. No. I was thinking of the vials. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I'm breathing really hard because I was in the middle of a workout. That's why I couldn't talk. Now I'm still figuring out how to breathe and talk at the same time. But
if anyone's wondering, Kaiba is the guy that walks in and says, "Hey, do my muscles look pretty big because I've been working out? Could you tell?" Sorry,
I
I am
have a
out of breath.
golden body. Okay, very important. Okay, so what I was thinking with those, I don't know, and not even just like the physical, whatchamacallits, the vials, the ledgers, but I was just thinking, I don't know, like I guess the eggs, but like if they are Pokemon companions, they do need Pokeballs, right? So I don't know where those come in from or what they are, but a vial could work.
That is an interesting concept, Kyle. And yeah, I honestly like that. It sounds way out there, but at the same time, it could happen. And if it does, I'm gonna be blown away. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, they're not going to
Like
make
that.
it like you need it. You know, like you can't need to have. I don't think they're going to make you like all clones have to own one vial for every animus they own because that would be insane. But I don't know. I mean, I I figure if they're going to travel with us and be our companions on all of these things, there might be some type of I don't know. I keep drawing all these comparisons of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I think about all the IP stuff, and I'm like, CloneX literally uses IP from Yu-Gi-Oh. They use IP from Attack on Titan. They use IP from all of these other animes that we've all seen. So I just feel like there's so much that like they know how much goes into Pokemon. They know how much that goes into Yu-Gi-Oh and all this stuff. There are so many items, there are so many balls, there are so many different types of things. It just has me thinking. Anything could literally be anything.
No, I agree. And honestly, what got me into Artifact initially was because of like I can go through that collection and find all the different anime references. There's so many of them, right? Like a lot of the animes that I watch are, some of those traits are in this collection. I think it was Pumpysha earlier who said he came in for the sneakers, right? I literally came into Artifact because of the anime aspect of things. And it was only later on that they announced the Nike, um, what do you call it, acquisition. And I was like, okay, that's super cool because now I get access to that too. Um, but then with Animus, now you have companions, and the silhouettes. That's what I was looking for. The silhouettes that they had for all of the various Animus. I mean that, and the few that they have revealed, right? Like if you play Pokemon and you play Pokemon Go or whatnot, and you see those silhouettes, it literally looks like a lot of those, like a lot of the Pokemons. Um, and the fact that, yeah, so I guess I can't help but draw connection with Pokemon and how that could go. Now, the other interesting thing too, now I'm going on a tangent, but the other interesting thing too is they did not dream up Animus until I think it was early 2022 is when they came up with the concept, right? Or somewhere after the fact. So that I think, I don't know which one of the founders said, this is not something we had initially planned on the roadmap, and this is something brand new. So, which makes me think that whatever it is they're doing, it was post acquisition. It's getting cleared up, with all the legalities and everything. So they don't get sued for stealing Pokemon IP or something close to it. Because legit, the one they showed on the poster, it looks like a Vaporeon, or which is an EV evolution, right? So there's so many. It's close enough that either, and so now this is jumping way into the deep end. So full disclosure, did not go make decisions on this. I could be 100% wrong, and I likely am. But either Artifact Nike somehow is working with a Nintendo and the Pokemon franchise, or I think, or not, but they have the whole idea behind companions collecting, catching them all, I think comes into play, and then we have real world activations and events and things like that. So I think it all links together, and that's what I dream of. That's what I want to see, and I feel like you don't go down that tangent of creating all these little creatures that look eerily like Pokemons if you're not either connected to the franchise or have dotted all of your T's and all of your I's and cross all of your T's, so that when you do release, you don't get sued into oblivion.
I'm gonna
So
stop you there because they copied all these anime traits. So I'm gonna stop you
that
there.
was that was pre that was pre that was earlier on, right? So you look at a lot of collection, like Azuki is Cowboy Bebop, all that stuff. It's all ripped off of anime, right? So a lot of collections, or actually that's why I like Izuki too, because again it's anime based. So the point is, for anime specifically, all I'm saying is, and again, I could be completely wrong, but Animus came about post acquisition, right? And it looks a lot like Pokemon. So, I mean, if you don't see it, I, then I don't know. Yeah, I think that connection is there. Now, whether or not it's a legit collaboration or not, I have no idea, right? But sometimes being close enough is good enough that you can stay legal and not infringe on any IP, but still deliver something close. And if nothing else, appeal to people who are into that type of stuff, right? So I love Pokemon, so Animus is right up my alley. Like, you're gonna allow me to collect a few of them, and I can evolve them. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, I think it's a lot of fun. Let's hit subscribe, and then let's hit DERS, and then we'll kind of see where we're sitting for time.
I think.
Tevi, sorry.
Yes, Doc.
Tevi, your voice is very beautiful, and thank you so much. And I'm going.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Actually, start of your day, since it's morning time over there.
Thank you. I will kiss you. Mwah. Bye bye.
Well, thank you.
Tevy got a crush in Turkey. LFG, dude.
You know where I'm taking my next vacation now. Let's go.
Don't say that too loud. Yo, subscribe. What were you saying, though?
Tevi, teach me how to be a clone, bro. Anyways, I think keeping it simple, maybe still bringing the value. I'm like, maybe they put a egg in the ledger that is somehow rare, right? And that in a sense, FOMO everybody in here, but in a sense, it's very simplistic and it still brings value to this ledger. I think this would be a good route. I'm not sure what else they can do. I mean, going a whole workaround route with like trying to do something that, like I mentioned, trying to give us security for games or like somehow be connected to Nintendo. It's very far fetched, but keeping it simplistic, like adding an egg, I think that'd be a really simple route and make people happy.
Bro, that's actually a dope idea. Like,
I
if
mean,
they did that, like,
right?
if
Let me finish this thought because
yeah,
this
yeah, go for
idea
it, go for
actually
it.
came from So I'm not sure if you guys ever bought like these shonen jumps or whatever like that. Well, what happens is they not only give you the book, but there'll be like a secret card, a Yu-Gi-Oh card in there, or like like Pokemon games will do that too. If you buy like a cartridge, like maybe the gold version or whatever, to give you a secret Pokemon in there for free. So that's the kind of the idea. I'm like, maybe they did something like this with the ledger.
Yeah,
I think
like a
you meant
variant. The
Yeah, I think you
promo
meant
cards.
cartridge, but
Yeah.
cartilage is supposed to be like in your knee and stuff. But cartridge, yes,
I'm
I think is
sorry.
what.
Maybe I need to learn Turkish. So I
No, you're good.
yeah.
I'm just teasing you, subscribe. I'm just messing with you, bro.
That is a lot like the promo cards, though. I mean, I know I got a Mew, whatever, the ancient Mew, when I was, 10, and I saw Pokemon 2001, the movie. Like, that was cool. And, bringing something like that into the digital age, it's an awesome concept. Will it be eggs? I don't know. Could it be something in a cool way that's similar? Totally. I mean, if there is anything over and beyond what we know right now, which we don't know if there is or not. So, like, that's kind of where it's tough, you know. But I think promo items are dope. So, uh, Durs, what do you got, man? How you doing?
What up, man? I'm doing pretty good. Doing good, good. Doing. I'm trying to understate it. I'm doing really good, man. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a vial with the vial, right? I feel like that's a pretty got to be pretty obvious. But as far as the Pokemon thing goes, it's like I don't think it. I think it's possible. I think it's probably more plausible than a reach.
But at the same time, I think it's like too early to really come to that conclusion and act upon that. I do think that the price point is probably the price point doesn't reflect that. I think that the price point is still undervalued, without that. So I think that's cool. Also, not to like bring it about floors or whatever, but I think that like whatever value, like if you're gonna get them, I still think it's worth it to hold in a whatever amount is comfortable with you within your budget and things like that. But I do also have to say like it's hard to make any kind of thing that resembles Pokemon without it resembling Pokemon. So there's so many of them. There's going to be similarities, and they're close enough to make a connection, but they're also like far enough to be not Pokemon. Like they're not exactly. They look similar, It's close enough to be a Coda maybe, but it's far enough not to be a Coda, and it's maybe it's all of them.
Reading the Animus fact too, it's actually really informative and really cool, and I would encourage people to read said FAQ, because the thing that really jumps out at me is the different approach to rarity ranking. It's not trait based in the sense of like yes, they're gonna have traits and things like that probably, but it's a different take. I don't think it's a set thing, and I mean, I don't know, but like I was thinking about this last night actually. It's like, MGXS, he had the nickname the mad scientist of Artifact, and he made 14,000 unique Genesis creatures that are AI generated. And it's like, yo, is it possible to actually make 20, 40,000 unique Animus that are Gen 1s that then breed and use the Evo X mechanic to actually create future generations all from the initial Genesis? It's like, I don't know, but I'm kind of curious what thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if we're gonna go beyond the 40,000, right? And that's only based on what the I think the FAQ says, which is like no more than 40,000 animus, right? But the fact that we're starting with 20K, and I think as they put it, it's gonna be based on lore moments, and there could be some breeding mechanics introduced along the way, or you could have, and again, this is just speculating, right? But as we're looking at the dunks and there's evolution there, and we know that with the vials, there could be, if you look at the patent around that, there's going to be the ability for people to create their own vials, right? Like artists to create their own vials and breed them and mix them up. What if, some of the future animuses are collabs with different artists and different projects, right? That help introduce like all that gets mixed in with different collaborations, and let's not forget that we just completed the Exodus, right? So now we're in search of new worlds, which means that with new worlds there's new creatures, and so that could be, as we get into arc 2, arc 3, and we start exploring some of these worlds, some new animus are released, right? And maybe it's not another 10,000 or another 5,000. Maybe it's X event or X adventure releases one super rare, like a one of one, for the collection. So with rarity being different with Animus than everything else, like one of ones could be a thing, right? Where it's like super rare in that manner. It's like the one of its kind. So I don't know. I feel like the IP of the Animus is going to be super interesting, and I think it opens up a lot of flexibility with the way they've set it up, as is.
Well, an animus, I mean, it means personality in Latin or Old English or something like that. And it's like, On the FAQ, Tevi, it says the maximum supply will not exceed 40K. So we could have a 40K max initial. Sorry, it says the initial supply will not exceed 40K. So we could have an initial supply of up to 40K. And then all we know for sure right now is that all 20,000 clones have the opportunity to claim, but we don't know how that remaining 20,000 will be impacted by lore-based events. That's kind of the thing still.
Does it actually say initial in there? I'm logging back on.
I read it on Thursday or Friday of last week, and I think it did, but let's confirm. I read it on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm going to the website right now.
Me too. Race ya.
You're
Top
probably
link.
gonna get there way before I do.
I'm already there, bro.
Yeah, see.
It says total final supply will not exceed 40K. It says initial egg supply claimable by clones is capped at 20K. Total final supply will not exceed 40K.
Yeah, so I think the way it's worded, then I would say, yeah, you're not gonna go beyond 40, right? If it's the total final supply,
And
I would
and
say
the question that it's responding to is what is the total supply?
what is the total supply? Yeah,
Yep, that's the frequently asked question that they're responding to that with.
yeah, I would say then that 40K is going to be our max. Now, how we get there, I think, yeah, like I'm pretty sure like not all 20,000 clones are going to claim all their eggs to begin with. So I think there's going to be a lot of leeway to, yeah, to like introduce different ones, different species, have some pretty rare ones, like one of ones or 10, like just 10 of them for this particular release and things like that. They have a lot of room, honestly, to play with this one. I think that's gonna make it super interesting. Not to mention, like if you, and again, speculation, right? Clonespiracies. But if you say, I know like the clones are not linked to the animus, however, you will have the ability to, I think it says that we'll have the ability, or somebody said that we'll have the ability to like link our clones to our animus. So if over time you can, like the traits of your clones or the species of the DNA of your clone can somehow merge with your animus or give them um, different powers or something along those lines, right? I think that would be like an interesting mechanics from a gaming perspective. But all that I think would take forever to implement, anyways. So it would be cool to see. I don't know if that's where they're going with it, but that would be pretty interesting.
DNA playing an impact on anything at this point would be proper. I think that having the different DNA traits, they unlock different perceived personas and personalities, and then bringing those through and unlocking whatever those unlock, if they unlock anything, would be dope. Like especially in the format of Animus, like if there is a way to do that, or if the Animus is impacted or has tendencies towards certain traits or moves or evolution trees. I don't know, dude. I mean, skill trees in action RPGs are immense. I mean, gaming has come such a long ways. Like a modern day, like if we actually had like a cutting edge video game today, it would be dope in the coolest of ways. I'm hopeful Diablo 4 meets that request. However, we will find out. That's June 3rd, June 6th, one of those two. I will be deep diving into the demons of hell for at least a week straight. Cannot wait for that release. But I think that a game that incorporates animus and clones and DNAs and inventory, that's going to be cool. But every time I start thinking about a game, I'm like, yo, that takes years, like actual years. So, like, Tevi, we're going to be 50, bro, walking around Mall of America trying to hunt these things. Maybe a little older than 50. I don't know. But it's going to be a good time, and we're going to run Mall of America. That's all I can say. So look out if you're trying to get near the mall. We a little bit past the 2-hour approximate target. Really, it's a 1-hour target, and a 2-hour is kind of the, hey, if we're still going, we keep going. We do like to cut it at that 2-ish hour mark just to try and keep it palatable, listenable, participatable, to the point where it doesn't take away from the rest of your evening, myself included, because man's old. He's 30 now, and he goes to sleep at 9 p.m. But, we all need our beauty sleep, some of us more than others, Kaiba. And so we do what we have to remain competitive and relevant. And that, for some of us, is our beauty sleep. But with that, if anyone has any other things, feel free to bring it up. Otherwise, I think we'll wrap. It's kind of fun. The squad's holding it down. I know the bad take space is actively going. They start at 9, typically an hour ago, on every other night. But literally, it's every other night, not like every other night, but like every night. I'm pretty sure that they're doing takes which they say are bad, but they're actually pretty good. And I was totally gonna rug it, but Soul has requested. What up, Soul?
What up, man? Honestly, I was just hearing you close up the space, and I just had to ask you, like, why is it that, like, every time you, like, say anything, it sounds like the perfect sales pitch, like that Shabam guy, like, on TV that the like what he's selling isn't that great, but it's just like that, like the way he says it, and like the whole show on like the words he says, like it just makes you want to buy it. So I'm just asking, like, how do you do it so well?
I watch a lot of Shabam infomercials, and I take a lot of notes on how the guy really lays it out. And I'm a big component of, if you buy it now, you get 2 for the price of 1, and I'm only going to give you $20 5 times instead of $20 10 times, and I'm going to get 2 of them if I act right now at the exact time that the TV commercial aired. And it's kind of funny, Soul, because I was always thinking about this. I'm like, they got no way to tell if I'm one of the first 10 people that called their phone during this rerun of an infomercial. Bro, they give that to everybody, I think. And I think that it's like this FOMO ass tactic that actually has no verification or transparency. And I actually don't really love it. But at the same time, I did get a free 14-inch Bowie knife, and 20 additional knives off calling the cutlery corner at midnight one night. Kaiba knows, he remembers, we was infomercial dialing. That's kind of what I got on that. So a lot of infomercials, bro, and I don't think I'm actively selling anything that has made me any sort of profit, ever. So there's that.
You know what the crazy part is, so is that he actually sounds like that in real life. So like I actually thought, like, before I met him in real life, that this was kind of like his persona online, and that's just how, like, this is how, like, he presents himself and keeps it interesting for the spaces. And then I met him and I was like, damn, he sounds the same. And like, this is not a play. This is how dude sounds. Like, it's impressive.
Tevi, I shit you not, I was so concerned when I brought him into this space. I was like, in my head, through so many years of him being like the clan leader in Clash of Clans and all of these other things, and his intensity, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy into some clones. I think you could actually do pretty good in this type of community. And he's like, what? I don't even know what that means. And I'm like, I don't know. This could be kind of dangerous. And all of a sudden, boom, the guy's running Clonespiracies. The guy's amping. He's going. It never stops. I bought so many knives that night on the cutlery corner.
It was a match made in heaven. But yeah, no, like, I was blown away. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, dude, like, I went home and I was talking to my wife, and she's like, how was it? I'm like, it was a good night. It was a good conversation. I'm like, he actually sounds exactly how, like, he does on Twitter Spaces. Like, that just blows my mind. But yeah, that was funny.
Tevi, are you going to tell your wife that you have a Turkish crush who's crushing on your
Listen,
beautiful voice, who
listen,
doesn't know much English, but she knows enough how to say kisses to Tevi.
listen. These spaces are not recorded for a reason, right? So that's where we're gonna leave that one.
Damn,
That was
Tevi.
pretty funny
You're a
though.
dog. Your clone even looks like a dog, too.
What?
It's that goatee. Turkish women love it. The robot goatee.
Oh, this is
Yo,
terrible. I'm so glad
he
I'm
goes
recording.
home to his wife without the goatee, and then when he leaves the house, he puts on the goatee.
Nah, dude, I have a massive beard. Like I cannot. I can't take it on and off. Like I'm actually doxxed. If you go to my page, you'll see what I look like. But yeah, that is a mini beard. I was trying to find a clone that had a bigger beard, but I couldn't find one with a dark, like with a black beard. So that's why I have that guy, which I love, by the way. That's my forever clone.
He said it. Can't take those words back. Um, we're just having fun.
I'm selling it tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously. Flip.
Wait,
Flip.
could you end the space by telling us how you met your wife? Like, how'd you like? Because I'm curious if you use like a sales pitch on her, like, or something like that.
Yeah, I would love to hear how you and Jem. Oh, maybe not. Shouldn't say that. I just probably said too much.
I think it's pretty much common knowledge, Tevi.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm not married, so was the question at me or at Tevi? Because I did use. We met on Bumble.
The guy had the most killer profile out of anybody ever historically on Bumble.
Literally, it was the best. And I didn't say you get 2 dinners for the price of one. I said you get 2 dinners. I'll buy one. You buy the second.
Damn, boy. Damn, that's a bar, son. Holy shit.
I would love to have. I know we should end with Jem coming up and like telling that story, like from her point of view. Obviously, it worked, right? But I would love to hear this. This is like, yeah, I would love to
Honestly,
hear that side.
there's
Or
not much to say. Have you seen the way this guy makes a steak? I'm sure that's all he sent her, and then that was that.
true that.
Meat picks. What? No, dude. I actually kept all grilling things under wraps for like a month, maybe even. I don't know. It was a while though, because I didn't want to lead with one of my hidden talents. I wanted to see what she thought about the person I was without any fun talents or fake Instagram bullshit, because I think social media followers are bullshit. Um, anyway, on a totally different note, Jem, if you do want to talk about that, you are welcome to. Soul would love to hear me talk about it, but then he'd think he was going to have to buy something at the end of the discussion, so I can't really talk to him about that. But if you were to say do it, then maybe he'd be more, um, you know, involved in the discussion. But if you're not at a place where you can talk, um, I get that too. But it's like 9:22, so yeah, I don't know. Who knows where you're at or what you're doing? But if you want to, you can. If not, so we might have to offer a 2-for-1 promo, 2 stories for the price of one next week on Clonespiracies for yours. Or you can hire us for a private storytelling session at a spaces of your time and choosing. 2 hours for the price of one.
Only
See,
if
this
you
is
bring
why.
the meat.
I will tweet sweet meat pics the entire spaces, bro. Yeah, I have too many steak pics on my phone, to be honest. It is a lot of barbecue and barbecue content, and I feel like the term meat pic just has a certain sizzle to it. Ha! On that, have a good night. Peace.